Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, ETHUSD. Today's the 7th of August 2018. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this afternoon, Tuesday afternoon session, where we're going to have a look at a few instruments. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute an investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers website and specifically our JFD research page, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. And of course, we produce our morning analysis, which you can check out as well. So yeah, guys, feel free to have a look, and I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here. So, but for now, let's have a look at the markets. Now, the first chart I want to touch on is the Nikei. Now, Nikei 225 here. Certainly, as you can see here by this picture, we're getting a nice boost here. We got a nice boost here today already, so the market is closed, but nevertheless, so this is we closed the day with a positive candle, with a nice bullish candle here, and certainly if this continues to move higher, this is opening the path towards this potential area of resistance that we're going to keep an eye on, and that's around the 22,775. Now, this is an important level to watch. As you can see, this was the high here, approximately the high here that we saw on the 1st of August. Let me jump into the 4-hour chart on this one, to be honest, and this is how we could potentially position ourselves for a possible trade. Now, on a slightly bigger picture, you can see also that the index kind of found very good resistance here around the around May time, and that's around the 23,050 mark. So basically, if we get a nice break here above this 22,775, this could open the path towards higher levels. Now, that said, of course, we do have some potential areas of resistance here on the way up. So the first one could be this 22,950, and the next one could be this high that we had here around the 12th of June, and that's approximately around the 23,015. Now, so of course, keep an eye on these levels as well, but the main one to watch here, of course, on a slightly bigger picture, is the 23,050. But then again, like I said, I will repeat myself, only if we get a nice break here above this level, of this potential area of resistance at around 22,775, and then the moment it seems that we could end up pushing towards that level. So this is, keep an eye on it, guys. I mean, like I said, a nice break above this could open the path towards higher levels. If the 22,775 is going to continue holding, then, well, I mean, we could maybe see a bit of a drop here again, maybe even back down towards this area here at around 22,355. Let me just quickly highlight it. As you can see, it recently acted as a very nice area of support here, quite a strong area of support. And as well, looking in the past as well, you can see the significance of this level. So basically, if we do get a rejection here at around 22,775, I mean, this could potentially maybe lead to another test lower here to another test of the 22,355. Certainly, there's quite a big range, big path to make, but like I said, if the selling is going to be strong, then yep, it could end up testing that level. But for now, just judging by the way it's performing right now, we could see another push here higher, and a test of this 22,775. So this is the level to keep an eye on. Let's jump into one commodity that I really wanted to show you, and that's platinum. Now, the platinum, let's put a daily chart here. We're seeing some buyers coming in here today, and we're seeing a nice push here to the upside. Certainly, the level that we're keeping an eye on here, the next potential area of resistance, could be this 845.55, approximately there. So this is the level to watch. certainly if we get a nice break here above this level, if we get a nice break and especially a close above this level, then this could open the path towards this slightly higher level of resistance at around 860, which is not far actually from this downwards moving resistance line, as you can see here, which is running from the peak of the 25th of January this year. So some good levels above here, but in order to reach those levels, we actually need to get a nice confirmation here, which would be the break and a close above this 845.55. So keep an eye on it, guys. On the downside, certainly because we're stuck here in this range, we're going to keep an eye on this lower side of the this short-term, very short-term range here that we've got, and we're going to keep an eye on this 819 level. So potentially here we could see maybe a nice break if of course if this commodity reverses back down here, we could see a break here and then a move lower towards these key areas of support here. The first one could be the 799 mark, and the other one is just slightly below that, the 794. So, but for now, of course, keep a close eye on this little range here between the 819 and the 845.55 approximately. So could be a nice trade here if we get out through the upper side of it. Let's jump into one of the cryptos actually that I really wanted to show you and touch on, and that's that's Ethereum. So Ethereum is kind of stuck here around its key area of support here that we've seen around the last time we saw it around the 29th of June, and that's approximately around the 405 mark. So the 405 continues to hold. Certainly we had a bit of a few undershoots here, and we had a few breaks, but it never closed below this 405 level. So this kind of indicates the strength of this level. I mean, the strength of the support zone. So basically what we could get here is a nice push away from it to the upside, where we could then target some higher levels, of course, but then again be very cautious, because as you can see, we on a bigger picture we do have this downwards moving resistance line that we broke nicely here around the mid-July. We broke it to the upside, we kind of went higher, but then we continued testing it from above here. So we could maybe see something like that, like a sharp drop here to the downside, a test of this downwards moving resistance line from above, and then maybe get our rebound. So the level also to watch here underneath below the 405 mark is the 360 level. Now the 360 actually is a very nice area of support here around April time, and we could maybe test that again, but like I said, only if we get a drop below the 405 mark. Now like I said, but the 405 at the moment kind of continues to act as a very strong area of support. So for now, keep on monitoring it, and if we do get a nice push away from it, this could, like I said, this could lead to higher levels, and especially towards this 515 mark, which has been high here around the 18th of July. So keep an eye on it. Let's jump into a few currency pairs, and the first one I want to touch on quickly is the euro dollar. Let's jump into a 4-hour chart on this one, and the euro dollar is, well, making a nice push higher today. We're breaking this 115.75. I was talking about this level this morning as well, and we've managed to break it nicely here. We've managed to close above this on a 4-hour chart, but certainly the day has not finished yet. Let's see where the day is going to close, but if we do get a nice close here above this level, this could become more interesting for the bulls, and the bulls could maybe continue driving this one higher, and we could then end up moving towards this 116.20 mark. Could potentially be a nice area of resistance. As you can see, it almost coincides here with the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart, of course. Yep, this is the one to watch after that. I mean, after if let's say if we get a nice move here, a nice continuation move here to the upside. So this is the 116.20, could be a nice area for a possible test. Certainly a break above this could open the path towards slightly higher levels, but let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, and let's see what it wants to do with that level first, and of course what it wants to do with this 115.75 today. If it doesn't want to close above it, or actually is it gonna just retrace back down and close the day below this? I mean, if we do get a close below this 115.75, this could be a kind of a warning signal, to be honest, that the downside is still not off the table. So for now, keep on monitoring this pair, guys, but at the moment, like I said, just judging by this current picture, it seems to be more bullish than bearish. Let's jump into another one quickly, another euro pair, and that's euro against the Swedish crown. And let's put a daily chart on this one. As you can see, we're still hanging around here above this kind of medium term support line taken from the 31st of January, and we're just kind of above it, but also we're below this downwards moving resistance line here taken from the peak of the 3rd of May. Now certainly continue monitoring it, because if we get a nice break here, if we do get a nice break and a close above this line, above this resistance line, now this is where it could become more interesting for the buyers, as we could see maybe a potential move here higher towards this area right here at around 10.48 mark. Now this level, the 10.48, kind of proved to be a very good area of resistance here around the 29th of June and also around the 13th of April. So could be a nice level to reach, but only if we get a nice break and a close here above this downwards moving resistance line taken from the peak of the 3rd of May. On the downside, for us to kind of, let's say, become more bearish on this one, or let's say take the bear side, we would need to see a nice good close here below this upside support line, this medium term upside support line that I was talking about, and this is where we could then position ourselves for lower levels. We could aim initially for maybe the 10.17 mark, approximately there, and of course below that we do have the 10.10 mark, so certainly of course approximately there. Now the 10.10 has been a nice here, the lowest point of June that we had here, and it acted as a very strong area of support, so we could end up testing that one as well. But something as well that I really wanted to show you actually before we kind of look at these levels as well, we need to have a look at this other slightly longer term support line, which is running here underneath as well, and could also play out nicely here, could also play out as an important area, but again, like I said, at the moment, just kind of continue monitoring these key levels. Let's see what it wants to do with them, and of course, yeah, keep on monitoring this these two, the downside resistance line, the short-term downside resistance line, and this medium-term upside support line. Let's see which way it wants to break through. And one last pair that I really wanted to touch on, and that's USDJPY. Now USDJPY is getting hit today, and let me just jump into a 4-hour chart on this one, guys. And certainly, as you can see, we're still kind of balancing around this this upside support line here, taken from the low of the 29th of May. Certainly we can see that we were rejected. The pair has been rejected here a few times in the end of July, and certainly now we're testing that support line again. At one point we did break it to the downside, but as we can see, the bulls managed to kind of drive it back up here. So of course all eyes are on today's close. Let's see what he wants to do with it, because this is going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. If we get a break here below, and if we actually another break here below, and we get a close below this line, now this is where it could be interesting, like I said, because we could see maybe a drop further down here towards the 110.60 level. Now this level proved to be a very nice area of support here around the 26th of July, so something to keep an eye on. But again, let's say on the slightly like longer term picture, or yeah, a bigger picture, let's say like that, on a longer term scenario, we would need to see a nice good close here below this 110.60 in order to kind of position ourselves for what could be a longer decline here towards these lower levels here. But again, like I said, for now we're just going to observe this upside support line, and of course this 110.60 level, but we'll consider that level only if we get a nice close here below this this medium-term upside support line, guys. So if, of course, if this continues to hold and if we see a rejection mirror, another push higher, well, this, not everything could be lost for the bulls, and certainly for us to take the bullish side again, we would need to see a nice move here above this 111.50 mark in order to kind of consider higher levels. But for now, of course, like I said, if we do get a rejection here, I mean, this could be maybe short-lived, but like I said, for better confirmation of the upside, we would need to see a nice good break and a close above this 111.50 mark. So for now, keep on monitoring this line, this upside support line, and of course today's close. Let's see where it's going to end up the day. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning, and that's 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time, for my JFD Brokers Traders Espresso, where we're going to have a look at the a few instruments again. Okay, thank you very much, and bye-bye.